All right, y'all know what time it is, baby. You already know the vibes with your boy. It's time to talk about the indies. Specifically, we're going to talk about 3 shows this week, all a part of the GCW Collective 2021 WrestleMania weekend. I'm talking about Effy's Big Gay Brunch, Allie Cat's Real Hot Girl Shit, and of course, For the Culture. All of these shows are available on Fight TV if, and hopefully you do, want to go check every single one of these shows out. We're going to kick things off talking about Effy's Big Gay Brunch. So first up, ladies and gentlemen, we have our scramble match. We've got Jared Evans taking on Allie Cat, taking on the Whisper. The Whisper. Taking on Ashton Starr, taking on Killian McMurphy, taking on Ja C. I'm familiar with everyone in this match except for the Whisper. The Whisper. I've never experienced him before, but that made me really excited for this match because I already knew what everybody was going to give. I already knew what everybody was going to bring to the table. I knew that this match was going to be a killer way to start off this absolutely awesome show. Speaking of the Whisper, I was really impressed by him. You know, this is, like I said, my first time seeing him, and I was really impressed by him on this show. His presence and his athleticism really, really impressed me. He was doing some stuff that you rarely see independent wrestlers do these days. So, and his look, his overall look was very unique. It was very intriguing, very mysterious, if you will. So, he done what he needed to do. He made me want to pay more attention to him. I followed him on Twitter as soon as this was over. That's how impressed I was by him. I was also really impressed with Ja C, the front man, Ja C. His charisma and athleticism as well. He really showcased it during this match. He also showed great ring presence. There was a moment during this match that he had with Ashton Starr. It looked like there might have been some kind of confusion. He played it off absolutely beautifully, child. He played it off so perfectly. I don't think it could have been played off even more than what it was. I popped real hard in here in the studio, child, for that. Ashton Starr got the win in this match after that beautiful scissors kick that he does. Ashton really has been showing out here recently. These past few months, Ashton has really been showcasing himself. I'm really excited. I think this might be the year for Ashton Starr, y'all. I don't know. He been killing it. I think this might be it. I think this might be his year. Next up, we've got Edith Surreal taking on Devon Monroe. I talked about it over on Twitter, but I wanted to go ahead and mention it here on the show as well. Edith Surreal has some of the best ring gear on the indies. Every single time I see her gear makes me just stop. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. It's really beautiful though. It really is, and it catches my attention every single time. I'm not sure if this was the first time these two went one-on-one. I doubt it, but it could very well be. Devon and Edith really worked well together, baby. They was like peanut butter and jelly. They was like regular butter on bread. They was like butter on popcorn. They was like hot sauce on catfish. It just went together. They were doing fantastically. They were doing swimmingly together. They moved together so freaking well. Edith was in control for much of this match. Devon did get in some great offense and showcased himself in this match. He showcased a ridiculous amount of heart. I've been aware of Devon for about a year now, but this match I think was somewhat of his coming out match, and you'll see that a lot. I'll actually mention that quite a few times on this episode about how I feel like a lot of these guys and girls and non-binary folks have had like a coming out moment this past WrestleMania weekend. And this match, I think, really could put Devon on the match in a lot of people's eyes and really make people say, okay, I like Devon Monroe. I like him. He's somebody that we need to stand up and pay attention to. His selling, I have right here in my notes, his selling is impeccable. And y'all know how I feel. If you can sell really well, you'll do good in this business. So Devon has that. Devon is out here selling his behind off for Edith. And Edith done a great job of making everything look like it was painful. You know, a lot of wrestlers these days, their stuff don't really look like it means much of anything. Edith does a great job of making sure every single thing that she does, especially her submissions. Her submission game is crazy. Her submissions, which actually she used to win this match, she made Devon tap out. Her submission game is crazy. Devon's sell game is crazy. Both of them, I think, have really bright futures ahead of them in this business. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful match. Next up, we got MV Young, the Poly-Am cult leader, taking on JD Drake. Y'all know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is, you finna learn what time it is. This is one of the times in my show, and I'm going to say it a couple times this episode, where I have to sit back and holler out, big motherfuckers doing big motherfucking shit. That's what was happening here with MV Young and JD Drake. This match, this really wasn't even a fucking match. Like, these two were in a straight up knockdown, drag out fight. That's what the fuck this was. This was two thick motherfuckers slapping on each other, fucking each other up, fam. That's really all this was between MV and JD Drake. This is one of those matches, along with this whole show, really, that you have to see for yourself. There's only so much I can say. There's only so much that I can analyze. You have got to really see this for yourselves. Make sure y'all go over to Fight TV so that you can catch not just this show, all three of these shows that I'm going to talk about, because there's plenty of highlights on absolutely all of them. JD Drake picked up the win after this fight, and we move forward in our show. Next up, we've got the Soul on a Pole match. Now, when I first heard Soul on a Pole, I thought we was going to get some fine-ass black man stripping. I was wrong. That was not the case. We got something great, but I was wrong, is what I'm saying. We ain't get no fine-ass black man stripping on no pole. Although, there was a moment this weekend. We'll get there. We will get there. But right now, we're talking about the Soul on the Pole match. Ace Perry versus Effy for Ace Perry's soul. As the story goes, Effy took Ace Perry's soul back in 2019. They've had a number of matches up to this point, a number of great matches. I believe they fought at Fight Forever, which was where I became acquainted with this whole story and everything that they were doing. So I was really excited to see this match. There was a moment. They had a moment in the beginning of this match that got me hot and bothered. Listen, Effy, Ace. Girl. Anyway, Anyway, this was another straight up fight, you dig? Ace Perry and Effy were pretty much in a fight this entire match, but they did have some absolutely beautiful spots during this match. Effy caught Ace Perry in a powerbomb as Ace was jumping off of the top turnbuckle. There's also this beautiful springboard cutter. Ace Perry hit this gorgeous springboard cutter on Effy. This whole match had beautiful spots. There was amazing storytelling throughout this match. Effy ended up winning this match, okay? And we had a post-match situation. Effy won the Soul on a Pole match, but Ace Perry got his soul back. If you want to know how that went down, you got to go to Fight TV and watch it for yourselves and really experience that crazy fight for yourselves. Next up, we've got Pero's Twink Hunter Tag Gauntlet match with his partner Odinson. Together, collectively, they are known as The End. I wasn't ready for what this match turned out to be. again, this is one of those matches where there's not a lot of conversation. There's not a lot of over-analyzing. It was just a really fun fucking match. But the first matchup that we got to see in this gauntlet was the End taking on Petty in Pink, Kenzie Page, and Dylan McQueen. Despite what this might look like on paper, Petty in Pink actually went pretty hard against the End. They were going really hard against them, getting some good offense in on them. Kenzie Page showed a lot of heart taking on Peril. I think Peril's bigger than me, and I'm a big motherfucker. So for Kenzie Page to go in there and absolutely step up to him, that was a thing. It was a sight to behold. Ultimately, though, the End did take them out. Sidebar. This match also is very interesting and had some fun implications because both the End and Petty in Pink have held the New South Tag Team Championships. New South is one of the local promotions here in North Alabama. So just a little fun tidbit for y'all to think on. Mull it over. Okay. Next up, we got The Runway coming out in this gauntlet to take on the End. After some shenanigans, this match was pretty much over quickly. After some shenanigans, the Runway got eliminated. I won't tell y'all what was happening, but I will tell y'all this. Pony by Genuine played. That should be more than enough for y'all to go check it out and see what happened. Next up in the gauntlet, we got the Bitcoin Boys taking on the End, of course. Much like Petty and Pink, they got in some good offense. They actually, you would not think that this would work on paper, but the Bitcoin Boys ended up getting in some good offense. They tried. They had a good strategy, I believe. And for them, it would have worked in theory. In the end, it did not. Odinson and Pero are fucking amazing and went through them boys just like they had the previous two teams. The End moves on. Next up, we've got Greg Iron and his non-twink minion, Shane Black. I love Effy. I really do, man. I love Effy. It ended quicker than a hiccup. If you blinked, you would have missed it. No muss, no fuss here. Now, our final team that came out for the Twinks, rather, is Bad Bitches. Bad Bitches came out twerking. And if you know anything about me, baby. So they came out twerking. I love them. It is what it is. Again, I feel like they had a great strategy. They actually came in and hit what is called the Bad Bitch Combination, the BBC, if you are in the know. And it looked like, listen, that particular combination was beautiful, and I fully believe that that combination would knock out any lesser man. But we're not dealing with just any lesser man here. We're dealing with Odinson and Pero. We're dealing with the End. So, although, again, good in theory, they had a good strategy, it did not work out, though. Because in the End actually wins the Twink Gauntlet match. Next up, we've got AC Mack taking on Dark Sheik in our co-main event. Now, I thought that I'd done a very good job of keeping up with every match that was going to happen on all three of these shows. Somehow I missed this one. Like, I knew Dark Sheik and AC Mack were going to be on the show, but somehow I missed that they were facing each other and that it was going to be co-main event. I don't know. Don't ask me, child. It's been a long break for me, okay? But so to me, this was a very pleasant surprise that I get to see these two performers. This was a really even back and forth match. Both performers are absolutely killing this match with their various styles. They did a lot of brawling. There was a lot of technicality. There was, of course, some brute strength being showed. I'm so glad that I have now been introduced to Dark Sheik. I don't think this was my first time watching her wrestle, but I don't think I pointed it out. I don't think I've talked about the other show that I may have seen her on. So I just wanted to point that out here. I'm really, really excited that I got to be introduced to Dark Sheik because I love what she has been doing. Like I said, man, these two were going back and forth, back and forth. This was a very even matchup. And it was one of the matches that I got pretty into. I don't have a whole lot of notes for this match just because I was busy enjoying it. AC Mack is always fun to see. I love AC Mack. I think personally, AC Mack is one of the best going in the business right now. To me, he's very underrated. I don't see AC Mack in a lot of conversations that I think AC Mack should probably be a part of. Dark Sheik, amazing. Absolutely love what she did. Dark Sheik actually did pick up the victory in this match. This might have been my favorite match on the whole card, honestly. So as I've been stating, make sure y'all go to Fight TV and check this whole show out, man. Now we are getting to our main event, The Business. Billy Dixon taking on AJ motherfucking Gray in what was billed as a pup collar match. We all know what that means if you're in the know in the professional wrestling business. Now, one thing, if you don't know this about me, here's something you're going to learn right this second. Deathmatch ain't my bag, baby. It never has been. I have all of the respect in the world for deathmatch wrestlers, for those people who go into these matches knowing what it's going to be, and they have the heart and the nuts to actually do it, the men and the women and the non-binary folks. I'm pretty sure there are some non-binary people who do death matches. Shout out to everybody out there in the wrestling world who is a deathmatch wrestler. I ain't never been able to get into it, baby. I am way too squeamish. Like I said, nothing but respect. I am too squeamish to get off into deathmatch wrestling now. With that being said, because this was a part of this show, because this was literally the main event of this show, I watched it. I had to watch it like this. I had to watch it like this, y'all. I had to watch that match through my fingers, but I did end up watching it, and Billy Dixon versus AJ Gray in a dog collar match, it's everything that you would think it would be. Yeah. It ain't a whole lot of talk about with this match. Whatever you would expect that to be when you see that written on paper, that's exactly what we got. We of course have the chain. We got light tubes. We got a door. We got chairs. Bitch, we got all that. That match is exactly what you think it would be. AJ Gray with that beautiful lariat. AJ Gray has one of the best lariats in the business, man. He hit that thing, and I actually learned on Twitter after the show. I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention because I told y'all, girl, I had to watch it like this. But apparently AJ Gray had the chain wrapped around his arm when he hit that lariat. Okay. But AJ Gray picked up the win. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Effy's Big Gay Brunch. Next up, Real Hot Girl Shit, a.k.a. Allie Cat's Real Hot Girl Shit. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all already know me. The girls, the gays, and my skin folk are always going to get my support. That's why I'm so excited to talk about these 3 shows. And I'm really, really excited to talk about this show. I'll tell y'all later why I'm so excited to get off into this one. But let's talk about some real hot girl shit. First up, we got Thick Mama Pump Jordan Grace taking on AK-47 Allison K, as pointed out on commentary by Sam LaTurner and Billy Dixon, who did a fabulous job, by the way, on commentary. This is the battle of 2 former Impact Knockouts champions. What do you know? I don't get to see a whole lot of Allison K for whatever reason. I don't know why. I end up not getting to see a lot of her. But this match reminded me of why I really like her. She's really fucking good, man. Like, she's good. What are the kids saying now? She knows the assignment. Is that what they say? I don't know. Either way, Allison Kay is really good. She reminded me in this match why she's a former Knockouts champion and why she's a former NWA Women's Champion. This match was really well-rounded. These two had some sick-ass, on-point strikes. I'm talking about the punches, the kicks, the elbows, all of that. Of course, when you're dealing with Jordynne Grace and Allison Kay, you know you're going to get some big-time power moves in there, some serious strength on display. Both competitors were pretty much equally yoked as far as I'm concerned. There was no advantage for either woman. It was a fantastic opening contest. Allison Kay actually ended up with the dub. Great way to start the show. Great way to set things off. Great way to set up for the rest of this awesome card. Next on Cap, we've got Erica Lee taking on Davienne. Two performers that I'm not totally familiar with. So I liked going into this not knowing a whole lot about either woman. I've seen Erica Lee a couple of times, I believe, when I watched Camp Leapfrog. Davienne, the name sounds familiar, so I'm almost certain that I've seen her somewhere. Maybe I've seen her on Camp Leapfrog. Honestly, I don't know, but either way, I was not super familiar, or I was not as familiar with these competitors as I am with a lot of the other competitors on this card, so it was fantastic to see a match that was fairly new, fairly undiscovered to me. Really solid showcase for both women. I was really, really impressed by Erica Lee. There was the couple of times that I have seen her actually was in much more of a group setting. Like she was on a big, I think at the Fight Forever, she was part of that big, I think it was like a 15-person tag team match or something. I feel like just about every time I've seen Erica Lee, she's been like in an ensemble or in a tag team or something. I can't tell you if I've ever actually seen her go one-on-one with somebody. So it was really good to see her going one-on-one in singles competition. I see why people love her. I really, really do. And I'm okay, so I'm going to describe both of these competitors in a way that I don't think I've ever actually described competitors on this show. Both of these women were very present in this match. It felt like how do I describe it? It felt like they were both in the moment, very aware of where they were and what they were doing. Does that make sense to y'all? It's like, okay, like some people get just so hyper focused that they forget that they're in a wrestling match, because I've seen a lot of wrestlers get to that point where they're like, I don't want to fuck up, I don't want to whatever. So it's like they forget that they're performing for an audience. These two didn't give me that at all, and it was, I don't know what made me pick up on that, but I really picked up on that. These two women were very present in their match, and I really like to see it. Davienne gets the win in this matchup. Again, super solid showcase. I know how to speak. Super solid showcase for these two women. Next up, we got the Queen Bee, Brooke Valentine, taking on the Babe with the Power, Willow Nightingale. I'm not going to hold y'all. The fucking mind games in this match had me on a straight up emotional roller coaster. Do y'all hear me? Oh my God. I'm telling y'all now, this was my favorite match of this show. Period. Y'all already know. If you've been following me for any length of time, you already know how much I love Willow Nightingale. I've talked about her a few times before. I've made it a point to say that I love Willow Nightingale. But to me, this match really, again, was a coming out party. And I feel like this was a coming out party for Brooke Valentine. I've seen her a few times already, but this match... And she had another match at For the Culture that I'm going to talk about after I talk about this one. But this match and this weekend really showcased Brooke Valentine. She put on it for the culture, but this match, the mind games in this match really, really solidified it for me. Brooke Valentine is one to watch this fucking year. These two matched up very well. Their chemistry was absolutely off the charts. I think that Brooke Valentine and Willow Nightingale, if someone wants to book it that way, has the potential to be a long-term, very good feud. If like I said, if someone is willing to book it that way, I could see them making hella money, Brooke Valentine and Willow Nightingale. So after the crazy mind games, after this big swerve, you have to go watch this show and this match for this swerve. Brooke Valentine, Queen, I bow to you. Okay? Brooke, I bow to you, Queen. When I tell y'all I was over here about to cry, I'm not even gonna tell y'all what the swerve was. But just know, Brooke Valentine is damn good at what the fuck she does. She does this. Do you hear me? Brooke Valentine understood the fucking assignment. I believe that's how that's used. All love to you. Willow Nightingale, my girl Willow, picked up the win. But baby, she ain't get it easy. Let me just say that. Willow did not get this win easy at all. Next up, we got a little dark. Okay? We've got the Dark Sheik. Okay? We got Dark Sheik back. Queen. Taking on Holiday. That's why I said we're getting a little dark here, girls. Okay. Overall, this match felt really gritty, and it felt more like a straight up fight than it did a regular wrestling match. Holiday was pulling off some heavy shit in this match, man. I believe this is the match. Let me skim through my notes. I don't remember because I'm looking through my notes. I believe this was the match that had that, like, Holiday and Dark Sheik, both of them. I believe this was the match that one of them flipped the other over the top rope for a backdrop out onto the floor, and the strikes and the chops were heavy as fuck in this match, real stiff and sturdy, baby. This match was something. This match was absolutely something. Dark Sheik had some good offense in this one. She pulled off like a spinning wheel kick from the top rope onto Holiday. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do a spinning wheel kick off the top rope, girls. So kudos to you, Queen, for that. Dark Sheik is so unique. She really is. And she was doing things in this particular matchup that really, I think, sets her apart from other competitors, male or female or non-binary. Dark Sheik is something. Dark Sheik is something so special, and she's so different. You know what I mean? She kept fighting when a lot of other people would have given up because Holiday was taking it to Dark Sheik. Do you hear me? Holiday actually ended up picking up the win in this insane-ass matchup. But, again, much like Willow Nightingale, she didn't get it easy. This, by no means, was this a squash match, girl. Our next match, Edith Surreal, who I have in my notes because this show was before Effy's Big Gay Brunch, so I'm kind of working in reverse here. But I have in my notes Edith Surreal, who constantly has amazing gear. I told y'all I love Edith's gear. Was taking on Lady Frost. To me, this match on this card was a sleeper match. I didn't really know that I wanted to see this match until I seen them both in the ring. And it was like, oh, okay, I can kind of vibe out to this a little bit. I kind of like what I'm seeing. Lady Frost, the striking, absolutely fucking killer. Absolutely phenomenal. Lady Frost, was landing her fucking strikes, y'all. I mean, landing them. Okay? Every single strike. And one thing that I loved about Lady Frost is that every strike had a reason. She wasn't just throwing shit just to throw it. She was throwing strikes with intention. And y'all know I talk about that quite a bit on this show. Intention. If your moves have no intention, then there's no reason for me to really give a fuck about the fact that you just did the move. It's almost like a finishing move. You know, a lot of people say, well, if that's your finish, then why would you just randomly hit it? I would agree. Why would you just randomly hit your finish if it's not to finish the match, if it's not to finish the opponent off? You know what I mean? If you have no... I'm not going to go too deep into that because that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. I just know Lady Frost, her strikes had intention, and I absolutely loved to see that about her. I was really impressed with her. I believe this was Lady Frost's first match back after injury. She was out for a little bit with an injury, so I believe this might have been her first match back. She looked like she missed no step, child. Wasn't no half stepping. Lady Frost came to do what the fuck she needed to do. On top of that, on top of her coming off that injury, let's shift over and talk about Edith for a minute. Edith Surreal has really been on a roll. She just recently won the Cassandra Cup. She had a match with Lee Moriarty, who I'm going to talk about in For the Culture, for the Independent Wrestling Championship. I have not gotten to see that yet, but I am going to make it a point to go and watch that match because Lee Moriarty, I've said openly, is one of my favorite wrestlers now. Edith Surreal, like I said, she's been tearing it up, man. So I know that match is going to be good. And so Edith comes into this match with a hell of a lot of momentum. Like, her momentum has been on 100. So coming into this match, it kind of felt like both women had something to prove. Edith picked up the victory over Lady Frost, and we continue forward in the show. Next up, we got Tasha Steelz taking on Trish Adora. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. This was the match that made me realize I wasn't taking a lot of notes for this show either. I was not taking a lot of notes because I was genuinely just enjoying what I was watching. Especially this match. Straight flames. This match, straight flames, super high fire, however you want to fucking put it. That's what Trish Adora and Tasha Steelz, that's how they were giving it up in this fucking match. Two phenomenal wrestlers, two champions, with Tasha Steelz being one half of the Impact Knockouts champion, and Trish Adora being the Pan-African World Diaspora World Champion. I do believe that's the whole thing. I'm sorry if it ain't. I gotta do better for the culture. But, you know, two champions, two phenomenal wrestlers. And I think that this matchup honestly could have been a main event on any card in any promotion. That's how much I really like this matchup. Trish Adora's technical skill, bar none. There are very few people who are touching Trish Adora when it comes to technicality in the ring and a technical standpoint. Very few people touching on Trish Adora. I watched her Iron match she had with Tony Deppen. It was just a 1 hour match. If I'm not mistaken, she pulled off the win there, but that was when I realized, like, oh shit, Trish Adora, the truth out here in these streets, man. Don't sleep on her. That's when I really came to realize the caliber of performer that Trish Adora was. But in that same token, on the flip side of it, you know what I'm saying? Tasha Steelz has the charisma of a megastar. Tasha Steelz has more presence and more charisma than a lot of wrestlers, regardless of gender, regardless of race, regardless of anything. Tasha Steelz has the charisma and the presence, hands down, point blank. Tasha Steelz has it. Do y'all hear me? They went back and forth. This was a very back and forth matchup, proving why they're both champions. Tasha Steelz ended up getting the win in this one, but honestly, I don't think you could have went wrong either way. Tasha Steelz or Trish Adora. This match was fucking good, man. Definitely, if that Willow Nightingale Brooke Valentine match did not swerve me so hard, this would have been my match of the night. Next up, we've got our main card's main event. Allie Cat, the creator of Allie Cat's Real Hot Girl Shit, taking on Billie Starkz. I've got to say, I'm here for Billie Starkz. I am here for Billie Starkz, man. She's been out here killing it at such a young age. Very rarely do people come into the business at such a young age and absolutely kill it like she has been killing it. She's been out here making a name for herself on the independent scene. I'm going to say it here. I'm going to say it now just so y'all got me on record. In a few years, these major companies are going to be throwing money at Billie Starkz to get them on their roster. No bullshit. I believe Billie's only 15, 16 years old, and she really be out here killing it. She really be out here. Billie Starkz. Girl, yes. She really be out here. I'm on the Billie Starkz train 1,000%. Allie Cat, straight up one of the best performers on the indies. Don't really care who you put her against. I'm probably, more than likely, I am going to bet on Allie Cat every single time. She showcased it beautifully in this match. Both of them showcased really, really beautifully in this matchup. The storytelling. Y'all know me. I love storytelling. I'm so big on storytelling. So the storytelling in this matchup with Allie Cat focusing on Billie's back and really zeroing in on that injury. Billie selling in this match, absolutely phenomenal. And that's what makes me say that Billie has such a bright future in this business. I just talked about it with Devon, and the same applies to Billie. If you can sell, you're going to have a good career. That's just how I see it. If you know what you're doing as far as selling, there's a greater likelihood that you're going to have an amazing career if you're able to really sell and get that emotion. There's a strong likelihood that you're going to have a fantastic career if you're able to sell and really get that emotion across. Devon did it at Big Gay Brunch, and Billie Starkz really showcased that really well in this match. She does it almost every time I see her. Billie's really, really good at that. To be that young and to be in this business and know what the fuck you're doing, man, that, whew. What was I doing at, we ain't gonna talk about what I was doing at 15. I was a young child running wild, you heard me. At 15, I was a young child running wild, you heard me. I'm glad that Billie Starkz is out here doing what she's doing and setting a fantastic example for people her age. Allie Cat ended up getting the win in this match. A fantastic match, fantastic main event, and a fantastic show. Now, there was a match after this one. Faye Jackson's Gray Sweatpants Battle Royal. I'm not going to do no deep dive into that. I enjoyed it, in case you didn't know. I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. Go watch it. Go watch the Gray Sweatpants Battle Royal. It was very, very entertaining. And that does it for Allie Cat's Real Hot Girl Shit. I'ma make it burn.